Well, Spain's socialist government on Sunday faces its first big test since taking power in the summer, following a vote of no confidence. The party is likely to lose votes in the southern region of Andalusia, where it has governed for most of Spain's democratic history. Opposition members from the Conservative People's Party, the Liberal Ciudadanos or Citizens Party, and the left-wing Podemos alliance say it is time to oust Socialist leader Susana Diaz to tackle the region's high unemployment and to punish a party with former high-ranking members currently on trial for corruption. Diaz has urged voters to back her strongly to avoid anti-immigration party Vox getting into power. Now, Sarah Morris joins us on the line from Madrid. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
Now, could the Socialists lose power in their traditional stronghold, and what are the opinion polls showing?
Well, under the election law, we haven't had any opinion polls for the last few days, but the latest ones suggested the Socialists could win the election, but would be a long way off winning that absolute majority. They could even lose as many as 7 seats. And what they'll be most worried about is the possibility of rival parties doing well enough to actually pact to oust the leader of the Socialists in Andalusia, Susana Diaz, from power. Everybody will be looking at that all-important second place, because if the Socialists get about 40 seats and the number 2, 3 and 4 parties get around 20, there could be pacts. And we've seen in this election campaign the left-wing Podemos alliance and the Liberal Citizens Party, 2 potential allies, both saying they wouldn't pact, they want the Socialists out after 40 years in power in Andalusia.
Now, what are the issues in these elections that are of greatest interest to voters?
We've seen all sorts of issues creeping into this campaign. Even Gibraltar, for instance, the Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez put that in on the cards with the Brexit negotiations. Many cynics said that was all about getting voters in Andalusia, because tens of thousands of Andalusian workers actually go across the border to Gibraltar. We've also seen high unemployment figuring. Lots of the rival parties to the Socialists saying unemployment is much higher in Andalusia than the rest of Spain because of the Socialists. And we've also seen corruption because of that case going on. Some of those high-ranking Socialists are on trial for abusing and misusing funds that were earmarked specifically to help unemployed workers get retraining.
Now, the Spanish media have focused on the possibility of Vox, a far-right party, gaining seats in the parliament in Spain for the first time. Now, is it likely to happen?
Well, the polls have shown that they could fare well, far better than they have ever fared, and they could cross the threshold of about 3%, and they could end up with as many as 4 seats. That remains to be tested. Many of the comments and the questions that the candidates have got is, would they pact with Vox, because it's an anti-immigration party, and many of the analysts say this is the first time Spain nationally has seen a far-right party that could actually get into a Spanish parliament for the very first time.
A quick word on Vox. Where do they come from?
They basically started off, one of the reasons they came into being was because of the Catalonia situation and the fear of breaking up the unity of Spain. The leader is somebody who was from the People's Party, the Conservative Party, and he seems to feel that People's Party is getting soft on the unity of Spain, and so stepping up the message. And their messages have certainly flowed into some of the other parties' messages.
Now, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez came to power in the summer when he ousted Conservative Mariano Rajoy in a no-confidence vote. How key is this vote for him? Some people think he may even call for an early general election.
That's right. Many people think he can't hang on until 2020. He has got problems in the national parliament to pass the budget. and he's dependent on many of the smaller nationalist parties in places like Catalonia that are demanding things of him that he doesn't feel able to give. This election will be closely watched because he won in June a no confidence vote. He didn't win the premiership through the route of a general election. And so some of the people here say that this is the first time he's actually had his rule tested at the ballot box. If, as many people suspect, the Socialists lose seats, or if it proves to be their worst showing in history, Pedro Sanchez could be the man blamed for that.
Thank you very much, Sarah Morris in Madrid.